So hello and welcome to Firestorm Squadron Firecast. You may hear people talking in the background. I'm just getting started. But this is round 2 of the Vagabond Open and the 186 takeover for the evening. You'll see on the table that we have got...
Yeah. Oh shit, hold on.
Okay,
Sorry,
should have been better.
I'm thinking up, down. So, do I still want that rock?
Okay.
It's basically the same whether you're up, down or left, right.
Yes, it is. Okay, there we go.
So the first game is going to be Cormac Higgins versus Julian Hood. And I do apologise to them.
It's been like, yay!
I think you probably can hear them. One second. Guys, just a reminder that from now, not counting that one that just happened, you will be live on stream, so please try not to swear if you can avoid it.
Just give it an
It's an Australian and an Irish person.
I know it's hard, okay? I get it, it's difficult. But first of all, obviously, thank you for being on the stream and do get yourself set up and we'll get going. I'm going to mute myself for now. Let me know when you're ready. I'm going to jump into the other chat.
No worries.
Oh. No, we don't. Just... Oh. Hold on one sec, Cormac. I'm just getting rid of the force, but I'm already looking at zeros. There we go. Alright, carry on.
Okay. Where's it
I won.
Did you? Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I got paired up and then he got paired down and then lost in the pair down.
Wow.
Used
to be him.
Guys, just let you know you are live.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Oh, okay.
Not there.
You are now. You went.
Okay, cool.
We were just talking about my game earlier.
Let's just
That's
slap it down, that's fine.
Paul's game
Okay.
from the round one.
Cool. So, should we say hello then, since we're live?
Yeah, you
Hello,
can do that.
everybody.
That's probably a good idea.
I hear my wife shouting at my
Thanks, Claire.
3-year-old in the background.
Alive
now, everything goes wrong.
What we're demonstrating here is the level of professionalism everyone can expect from today's stream.
Correct.
Unfortunately, there's 2 of us trying to improve it, but there's 3 of them dragging us down. I think that's the issue.
Okay.
Also correct.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone
Chips.
has watched our streams before, they know the level of professionalism we have.
Hey, I've managed to get to the point where I can have the audio levels from the Facebook chat different to the one from the desktop, the Discord. I'm winning.
Grab a beer while you're doing that. One sec.
Winning at what?
Winning at getting things right.
I think Julian's winning because he's already grabbing a beer. I approve of this message.
I already have one. I did promote the drunken commentary earlier.
So, Nick, do you want to tell people what's going on just in case they don't know?
I mean, that means I have to do things. This is the whole point of you guys being here. Okay, so for this evening, we have the 186 Squadron pretty much taking over the show, which I am wholly okay with, because Paul and Lloyd have done it once before, at least once before, more than once, I'm pretty sure, and have been of great help to me. And I quite enjoy their commentary and quite like watching their Veteran Instincts channel when I get the chance.
Seems good.
So we thought we'd have them on. And when I noticed the pairings for the Vagabond Open 2, which we'll probably tell you more about throughout the stream, I saw that all 3 of these games are 186 players.
I don't mind.
Which meant
Either
we had
way,
to have that happen.
It doesn't make a big difference to me, I think.
So you've got a full
No, not really.
4.5 hours of
Not really.
passable to mediocre X-Wing ahead of you.
Yeah.
But with some of the finest commentary.
So if I was saying anything to you right now, I'd probably say just jokes.
I agree with this, yeah.
Yeah, that's
So this is the to explain. This is these games are all in the second round of a current online tournament that's going on. There's actually 2 versions of it, one on Battle and one on Tabletop Simulator. This is obviously, as people can see, the Battle version. And in round 2, there have been 6 186 players playing against each other, so 3 matches for you tonight. And we're looking at the first one, which is Cormac Higgins versus Julian Hood. So boys, looking at the lists, Cormac is running a list that you guys in Firestorm are very familiar with. Venny with some support, but Super Venny versus a Reg, Jan, and list. What are people's thoughts? Who do people think? Which lists do we like the best?
I mean, I'm a bit biased, I'm not going to lie.
Well, Benny is a trap list, right? Benny is the kind of list where, unless you have a plan for it, and unless you have the tools to deal with it, it will tear you apart and catch you out.
Yes, for sure. And this specific variation that Cormac's been playing around with, I have spoken to him in some length about it, and you can just have Venny stay still the entire game with 2 focus zones.
Just gonna verse the players.
So presumably they're starting.
We're listening to you. Yeah, we got you guys.
And that's certainly, if you're
So,
not expecting it,
if
is
you
a
are ready to go,
good thing.
Pond should be listening as well,
Cover,
I believe.
native
Or maybe he's not.
to attack
I'll give him a
native
shout and get him to
which
start
I
the
think-
thing. Pond, I
Yeah,
just want to
yeah,
check.
I
Are you
mean,
ready to go?
As I was, can you can you do the
You need me to do the overlay?
later? Yeah, sorry, I've got a call I've got to take.
Okay. Bear with me 1 second then, guys. Just let me get this open just so we're ready to go.
Yeah, I'm not expecting Venny to stay still turn after
Well, that's
turn
gonna be
after
interesting
turn,
then, isn't it?
but with
Right.
having Cannon Live on Venny as well, you could see Venny stop for a couple of times,
Well,
still get all the force,
not
all the focus
intentionally or
tokens,
not
and then
actually
do a
choosing.
balloon maneuver.
Yeah,
Uh,
not too bad. Sorry
Pond,
about
you're
that.
still on that call.
So we're just starting our big old stream for the night because we've got
Pond.
Bear with me 1
I might
second.
get the call.
Pond.
I'm going to
I get
kill
the call.
Pond.
You can do the overlay. I just had to let him know. So when you call ahead,
This is
hang
the
up and
true professionalism.
No, it's perfectly fine. I've already
having Pond.
no. I'd already pre-warned them that I may have to.
having Pond on
Ah, dear.
If,
live to the
if people are
thousands of
looking
people.
for a more professional, more informative X-Wing online experience, I can recommend the Veteran Instinct the basic YouTube channel.
I mean, I'm not going to disagree, but I'm going to kill Pond later. If you guys want to go ahead, we are good to go, and you can start now. Good luck,
As
guys.
we come into the first turns, noting that Han has trick shot and obviously it benefits his ability, do you think there's value in Venny just seismic charging all of the rocks away? I feel like Cormac might be answering my question as I say this.
Yes. Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, Venny's certainly clearing some of the rocks out and limiting Han's, both his pilot ability and trick shot. Definitely seems worthwhile, and as you said, Cormac seems to be right on that straight away.
Because the mobility from Han is the thing here that is going to give Julian an edge if there is one, right? And so, yes, he still gets the mobility, but turning off his bonus dice, turning off his ability is a leveling factor, I thought.
Yeah, I think that's huge. I think Han, with those rocks and with the rerolls, is the rocks are going to do two things for him, right? They're going to allow him to outmaneuver Venny because he's that much more manoeuvrable, and they're going to turn his ability on. And I think the sort of realising that first turn and starting to get rid of rocks is hugely in Cormac's favour. It does two things. It removes the rocks and it removes that advantage, but it also puts a lot of pressure on Julian that if he wants rocks in the game, he's going to have to engage maybe quicker than he would have done otherwise, because if he waits too long, there are going to be none left.
Yeah.
And worth noting as well that Venny here is reloaded at the same time as his action, so it still has 2 seismic charges available.
Yeah, and that's the power. So Kova using Leia's ability to make the full stop white, allowing him to just reload.
And Venny can do this all night.
Yeah. One rock
Cormac is successfully managing to not get himself with that seismic. And so we see Julian like sensibly setting up, presumably Han there set up across as the kind of last thing that happened, trying to bait Cormac into that corner while Wedge and Jan kind of come around the other side. I like it, but it is going to take 2 or 3 turns for him to get into position, by which time there might not be much left in the way of obstacles on the board.
Yep. But as someone that's just flown like Wedge with Jan in a list today, that could be really key to trying to kill Venny quickly. Because one of Venny's strengths, of course, is being as tanky as she is, and getting the ability to add the eyeball result and just keep going that bit longer than everyone expects. So removing one of the 2 dice at least, and getting that extra attack dice coming from Jan could be quite key to dealing a lot of damage to Venny.
And so Cormac going with the 1 bank here, really nice, kind of threatens Jan and Wedge, sort of turns the arc towards, and also sets him up nicely for another seismic next turn to get rid of that central rock. Finn and Cova at this point of the game, really their job is just to kind of keep up. I wonder, I mean, it'd be a big play. I was going to answer it. I wonder if Julian considered turning Han back in there and dipping into that corner. Would have maybe narrowed down his options a bit too much for next turn.
I think the danger of that as well is how hard Finn hits, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Cobra is
if
a nuisance, but Finn and Venny both hit incredibly hard when they want to.
yeah, and if Venny hadn't done the one bank into the center of the board,
Yeah,
Han
then
would have
you're in
been in a
massive
really
trouble.
sticky
You don't have any.
place.
No, I'm just checking range and stuff.
Cormac cheating there.
Well, I was going to say, so obviously,
That'll make you
Cormac
happy.
has played this list a number of
Yeah,
times, and I've
well,
seen
I
him
just
do
gonna
these
kind of.
openings
It's
before.
more a case of.
He did explicitly
Yeah.
say, "I'm just checking for a shot."
Absolutely,
Yeah,
and measuring that range tells you exactly where your trajectory simulator
just a little
seismic
shot
charge is
there
going to
now,
go,
see if I
and
have
so
a
you know
little-
exactly with
little-
perfect information, which rocks you're going to hit or
okay,
which rocks you have the opportunity to take off.
And I think that shows you can either be good at this game or you can be a gamey, cheaty.
Or you can do both. I mean, that's the thing, right?
Yeah, it's very sensible. In all
I mean-
seriousness, it's a very sensible thing to do. There's, within the rules, you're allowed to check art, you're allowed to check for shots, and why wouldn't you give yourself that information? So Cormac can see that rock is within range 3, and therefore when he puts his bomb to range 2 in front of him with the 5 straight forward, he's going to easily clip that middle rock. The downside of checking, if you're confident of where things go, is you also give your opponent information. So there are occasions on which I've sort of in 1.0 played against in-player or ace players who used to do it all the time to kind of gauge range, and I felt like kind of I gained more than they did from getting that information. So it's something to think about before you automatically do it. But in this case,
What I do
Let's
just
comment
need to
no,
say
then.
is we have got our poll going as usual. So we've got the exclamation point vote, followed by a space, and then 1 if you think Cormac will win, 2 if you think Julian will win, or exclamation vote space if you think the unlikely result is going to be a final salvo.
So far, we've had 2 votes, and both of them are for Julian.
which is interesting. I think my initial thought, and I was saying it just before we came on stream, was that I preferred
There we go. Well, you
Julian
only
from a
lose
list point of view. I like his
Well-
matchup into this list. I think
Well,
they've
I
got
didn't
similar
decide this
pieces.
ahead of
Julian's
time.
are all
I was
moving
waiting to get
later
back to you
and a
about
little bit
whether
more
we were gonna do
evasive,
a
a
choose
little
faction
bit more
for each other
flexible.
thing.
However,
Yeah, sorry,
I wasn't really thinking about
I
the
came
lack
back
of
from work,
obstacles
I
that would
was
be on the
out there
board, and I
just
think
being
Cormac
desperate.
has done a really
Oh, I
nice
know.
job here with the opening of doing what
you're
Lloyd
sending-
talks about,
sending
of
this
flipping the
over to-
board and really closing down the
to
space
Nick.
that Julian's got to
I
play
sent
in.
one
Meanwhile,
wrong
to
time.
using the time he's buying himself to get rid of
just
obstacles.
to
And
change it.
I think for me, given the first 2
it's fine.
turns, I
I've got like
think I
elements
favour
of two different
Cormac here.
lists which don't combine
Yeah,
at all.
I
I think I'd
wonder
agree
whether
with that.
he's going to this turn, just as an aside, destroy the bomb, the rock that's closest to him,
I thought it was just a relatively
Yeah.
strong. Just
and then next turn do the same again, clear the other rock out.
Yeah,
But
I
obviously
think
he can choose that based on where Han goes. I don't think
It's
Han will
got
turn in this
elements
time,
of
but clearing the
very
rock
different
closest to him
lists.
is, I'm pretty sure, out of range of him, and also then gives him room when he wants to turn down to the corner where Wedge is headed towards.
Yeah, I think it's good for 3 reasons, right? As you say, it clears out that rock so he can bank down towards Wedge. He can deal with the other one next turn, and it also stops Han turning in next turn.
Yeah.
Because if you blow up that central rock now, then Han at least doesn't have to worry about the damage. Whereas if you blow it up next turn, it's a screen turn. I really like this K turn from Julian, I have to say. He was at real risk there of all of his list ending up in the one corner and it being very easy for Cormac to approach with his front arcs. He needed to present threats from different directions, and that K turn sorts him out for doing that.
Sorry, I'm laughing at the commentary between the players. Julian's like, look at you trying to make up those decisions in his any list. Just trying to choose which rock to get rid of.
Yeah.
I think, with
No,
the games
absolutely,
we've got
so
today, we could very easily just put the player audio on, and it would be a very enjoyable experience.
The stream have it.
Julian is very entertaining to listen to, for sure.
The stream currently have it.
Oh, well, then
But
turn
it
us
is-
off and just let everyone listen to them.
But yeah, as you were saying, I do like that K down from Han. It forcing Cormac to make decisions about which way he tries to engage.
So having done that,
Or-
Dom, what's Han's next move?
I think just if it was me, I'd just relatively slow one forward or something like that. Again, keep those options open because again, Venny's probably going to stop again and get rid of that rock, and if any turn in is going to potentially clip Han.
Yeah,
It's Finn and Cova that are going to signal where you're headed with it, right? So I think I'd be actually inclined with Julian because what he doesn't want to do is get there too soon and make the decision for Cormac. So I wouldn't be surprised actually if Julian one banked away. and just gave himself a bit more time before he had to commit to either side of that debris.
I think
A bit more space.
I think the issue with the one bank is if Cormac commits hard towards the top right hand corner of the board here to go for where Hand's going, if you one bank, then your flips are all off the board for next turn. I think. Whereas if you one straight forwards, you can at least if they've called you and they're going up into that top right hand corner, you can at least K-turn.
Then come back again.
The turn after, and you're going to take a round of fire, but then you've got an exit. I think the problem with the bank is that you commit yourself to that corner and you run the risk of getting trapped there. So I think for me, it's the one straightforward. You hope with all your heart that Cormac commits downboard towards Wedge and Jan, and then Hand can get a nice flank.
Yeah.
Andrew, thank you for the
probably
subs.
Wedge and
Hands
Jan
out of salute to
continue
you.
straight along the top end of the board, so that whatever happens, you've got one set of ships behind.
Yeah. And yeah, Finn has done that one bank up to try and corner off Han if ever is
keeping
the
her
way he's
options
going.
open a little bit more.
Yeah.
And Benny obviously has stopped. So this is where the kind of so much stopping with Benny could potentially be a problem. Finn hits nice and hard. You don't really want one-for-one trade with any of Julian's list. So the stopping and clearing rocks is nice, but the risk of doing it too much is that you split your list up.
Yeah.
Because Finn is the one. Clover and Benny obviously can reverse and keep close together. When I played Cormac with this list, we had a couple of practice games and we were both sort of running it and alternating it. And I had a slightly different version. I just had two T70s as the wing. And in our game, Finn kind of got himself isolated and sort of flew off out of the fight for enough turns for me to bring it back around. So, but I think Cormac has played the list a few times since then and is better with it now than he was then, because it was both of our, we were very early into playing it.
Yeah.
I am dropping the table audio in and
Decide
out
to
a little
commit
bit,
after
so
Han.
to try
Then
and
he can do like a 3 bank up and try and cover that ground relatively quickly.
But given where Julian is now, that would really open the flank up.
Yeah, it would. It'd be dangerous with Wedge and Jan coming in behind and just being able to hammer that damage into him.
Alright.
Oh, he went for a 3 forward.
Okay.
I think that's a bit
So
it is slightly
like
Julian's
we
list
have-
because he was so rushed.
4K on
Oh,
the Falcon,
bomb.
is it?
Yeah, that's
And it's got
nothing.
the 3
Must have got
sleep.
himself in.
Disappears the rock.
So he can still do either of those, and I feel like he needs to do one of those two.
Yeah, maybe the 3 sleep would give him more distance in the next turn, but then would narrow his options. To turn
Left arc is G, isn't it?
I don't know actually.
Trade a flyer?
3 plays 3
Yeah.
with extra shenanigans.
Both well
Unless
modded at
unless
this
he did-
stage.
I'll just hand
Unless,
reveal.
unless he
Probably-
did that 3
wow.
forward to try and get the trick shot.
Gash. Cool. Finn.
Yeah, I was going to say, you feel like Finn is always going to come out slightly.
So Finn,
Yeah, and I
2
think
back.
although the
You
two
double
gets in that
check over, but I think you got
debris,
range.
Oh yeah.
it's for the ability, he
Um,
wouldn't have been
so
shooting.
two
He wouldn't have had a
back.
shot if he'd gone one straight forward. This
I'm
this
going
trade of fire
to-
wouldn't have been happening. Having said that, I do really like the position that Wedge and Jan are in. Remind me how Jan's ability
I'm
works. Is it
gonna
in
add
arc?
for
Yes,
strain.
in either of her arcs.
So I think,
In either of the arcs, so the full 180 degrees.
so if we're being slightly
Basically,
tricky,
you could take a strain and have 3
the
hits.
ideal would be for the arc
Yeah.
to be pointing towards Wedge.
Yeah, I was
but we
wondering
can
whether
still-
Julian was going to rotate it this
Good.
time.
Yeah.
Declined. But
Better.
he has a white rotate, and he's going to have tokens anyway. It also, I suppose, gives him the option that he could 3-bank it left and try and bring it round.
Oh,
If
Yeah,
he's not intending. But yeah, the arc should probably still be facing Wedge one or the other.
yeah, and actually now looks like quite a nice turn to have done it, because I think the expectation is you do a blue move here, you probably go 1 or 2 straight forward with Jan. You don't want to take a proton bomb for no reason from Benny. And so it would have been a good free opportunity to do that. Whereas now you feel he's going to have to do it this turn. So either not have the lock he could have had, or end up stressed.
Yeah.
Is that 1 damage chip through onto hand then? From Benny?
Yeah,
Looks
I
like
think so.
So we were talking
It does
about
look
Han's
like it.
options last turn. So we were talking about K10s and sloops. He has also got options of 3-banking and boosting around and trying to get him behind. I think
Yeah, it'll do.
it feels risky, obviously,
Have it.
because Finn is likely to just slow roll. But long term, that might be a better solution. You accept that you're going to take a couple of shields on the way.
Yeah, and I think the in your favour with that at the moment is where Benny is, unless she hard turns towards the top of the board, which feels like an overcommitment.
Yeah.
You probably don't take much fire from Benny. You probably get round into the side of Benny. And yeah, it feels better than the K turn, because then you get broadsided this turn and the turn after, and probably the turn after that, and by which point Han might be dead.
Yep.
And so I think I agree. I think that for me the 3-bank is too close to the board edge for the booster fit. I'm not sure, but I'd be more comfortable, I think, with the 2-bank. To the 2-bank to the left from Han. I think
It's the
Wedge
first time we've
just
played
3
Nate, isn't
banks.
it?
I think there's no doubt about that.
Yeah,
And Jan
yeah,
are probably
definitely.
too straightforward.
I'm not sure about that strain
from the
last
ball.
turn, you know. That's why I was umming and ahhing about it.
And then for Cormac, what do
I
you
don't think you really care about it.
I think he's demonstrated pretty clearly he's going for Han, right? So it's how
You-
hard he
you
goes
shared
for
it-
Han,
you
how many
shared it
shots
on a
he
blue
needs
anyway.
to do it. So
Yeah,
I would expect
because he
Finn
could.
will just one forward and trade shots again.
Mm-hmm.
I would expect Benny will probably do something like a 3-bank.
Like on positioning
The
there.
danger of
I
going
don't think you're
too
really losing anything which is relevant.
is that you get one round of firing and then you're past. So maybe
I'd be
Maybe
surprised
suppose
if
you
the
could do
3-bank or
your-
1-bank would be plenty
red
enough to keep
3-bank
it in
crap,
range
yeah.
and have the option to
One
follow
bank
up.
Yeah.
Still won't
I
help.
think the
Yeah,
1-bank,
option.
and it keeps your arc wider as well. I think
Yeah.
Han can't
Go for it.
pass the 1-bank.
Bomb?
this
No
turn.
bomb?
But I think Han almost doesn't.
No bomb this turn.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It'd be interesting.
What I might do as well, on Venny,
Interesting to see what Han does.
So
He's
you've
with
got
2
a
banks. He's gonna
yellow
take
charge,
a lot of fire this time.
and you've got a
Maybe.
force charge. You have neither of
Maybe
those.
that's
Yeah.
gonna
So we
best
use
out
yellow
on
charge to
maybe.
track your seismic, and we'll use the force charge to track your
And then
proton. Alright?
Clover
Okay, yeah,
can
perfect.
red move here.
That's the numbers in the bottom left and right corners.
Convenient red move. 3 banks red.
yes, they are.
Yeah.
Can't do that. I'm gonna
So
have
it's
to do
quite quick,
this.
but maybe you 3 bank
okay,
to get
so...
the extra dice to get close to Han, and then you've got the reverses to kind of turn yourself around. After
But
that.
also, I was going to say, also you could just reverse if you think Han's going to come a bit quicker.
Yeah, the reverse is actually yeah, that's much more sensible.
yeah, good to go. So, no bombs.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the
so-
reverse is much better, isn't it? You just point
yeah.
yourself straight down the wall edge.
Yeah, so just a blue from Finn. See, my problem was that this is why I was a bit iffy, because I kind of wanted to turn Finn towards the others. And
Cormac loves to explain all of the issues he's having with the game
I was just
as he
thinking the
beats
exact
you.
same thing. Let me tell you why all of this is terrible for me and everything is bad.
Ooh, that is a
Ooh,
strange
that's a
choice.
hard commit
So
after
this
Wedge,
is,
I think.
yeah, I was going to say this is selling out to kill Wedge.
So do you think Kova's going to do the 3-bank? Oh, Kova's just going to stop. He's going to say, if you get a hard commit that way, would Kova not follow?
Ooh,
and
this
try
is
and have the
that's
second
an odd set of decisions.
turn? Yeah.
An odd set of decisions, I have to say. So, Venny coming down for Wedge. You know, she's probably going to get 2 decent shots into Wedge.
Yeah.
And actually, where Jan is, even if Julian decided to boost out here, which he might get out, I think he would just leave Jan taking everything. So there's method to that madness. It does. I think that Han is the correct first target here, because I think Wedge will blow up at some stage in the game, you know, and you don't need to be too worried. I think Han is more worrying in the end game than Wedge is.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
But the Kova move I really don't understand, because it's not pointing at anyone. You know, I think it doesn't cover any move that Han does, and it doesn't leave you a great spot for next turn either. I find
But it leaves you in a position to set back where Han is going to have to go in between Finn and
But
Kova.
I agree, but then it's the only thing that we're then if we get the 2-bank from Han here and the 1 boost around the corner, then next turn, yeah, Kova can reverse and shoot Han, but she's the only thing shooting Han, and Han could actually even play for the
Yeah, he did go for the 2-bank.
So this turn, like next turn, Han could even play for the bump on Kova, which is not going to be a problem because there's nothing else to threaten.
Just
No,
look at
I
this,
mean-
and because shots are going to be coming in a second, it's worth noting that he's fixed the Jan issue because the boost from Wedge gives him the extra die back.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is 4 from Han into Finn by the looks of things. 3
Yeah.
hits and a crit.
Oh,
Finn
just
takes
adds
nothing.
strain and just doesn't care.
Oh,
Did you, I mean,
it's the only shot you have, right? But shooting at Finn with a single ship is never a
No.
worthwhile trade.
But it's actually, that's not necessarily an issue. He could take a lump of damage here from Finn, but Finn is now out of the fight, right? Finn's up against that. So that's Wedge coming in, but not with the extra dice?
He has closed S.
no, because he's got his
So
escort
it's clear
closed.
plus range plus jam.
Fine, we got it back. And I'm not entirely sure.
He's just doing the dice without clearing the
Looked
other
like
ones.
Benny had 4 of AIDS there for a second.
Yes.
Which
So I think he
is
just
a lot.
added 1, right, and lost shields.
Yeah, so
Yeah, shields are down on Vin.
She appears, looking at the overlay, he's taken shields and a hit.
So he's keeping the focuses for attack.
well, he's spent a focus, so it looks like his shields are down, and Wedge used his crack shot to make that.
Oh, crack shot,
Yep.
that was it. And then another 3 here.
And
As
then
Jan's
3
got crack
hits in
shot as
from
well.
Jan.
Yeah, but he's not worried about adding the eyeball if he's got crack shot.
Yeah.
I think you
Okay,
added.
so that is
That is 6 damage
that's a
and
lot
half
of damage
to
gone into
Venny
Benny
in a
in
single
one
tank.
swing. Yeah.
And having played Venny a lot, if you can just if you can just kill Venny quickly, it's a huge difference to the game.
I think looking at this, Cormac needs to kill Wedge here, and
needs to put a
which he's got a
lump
decent
of
chance of
that
doing, but needs to kill Wedge here, and has a and then
Very
it would be
Wedge's
also
connection.
helpful if you put a bit of damage into Han as
So he's
well.
got 7 dice into a 6 health chip.
That's still got its focus as well.
How many dice did Wedge roll?
4.
4.
Is he using the
So-
S4s on the table? Because he's got his S4s closed.
Close.
No, because
Jan-
Jan always took the
Oh
stress
yeah,
to give him
okay,
the plus
I missed
dice.
that. Sorry, apologies. Thank
That's why Jan's stressed.
you. That makes sense. I was messing around with audio levels.
That is not enough to start off with. Spends everything to get 3.
Yeah. Now, of course, we have some people watching at the moment, so some notable people from the 186 have turned up with Mr. Patterson and
Super
Alex
there,
Burt have
Burt.
both joined.
Never.
And of course, the creator of the tournament, of course, is here, Mr. Stevie B.
Oh, hello,
Yeah.
Steve. Was that some notable people and Andrew Patterson? Is that what you said?
That wasn't, but we can go with it. And yeah, and Simran's turned up as well.
For anyone else watching the stream, Andrew Patterson is he used to be a good player
Oh,
in 1.0.
nice.
1.0 he was really very good.
Wedge down to 2.
And that is 4 damage into Wedge in return, which I mean,
Yeah, I think
Julian's fine with.
Finn needs to hit hard here, I think,
Oh,
and has done.
take another strain and put an eyeball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just take the
Yeah,
second strain.
4 damage.
Just 4 hits.
Nice. That is brutal.
But then so it's this way.
So our next game is ready to go soon, is that right?
This is don't believe it. This is what 2.0 is like. You have a brutal first engagement and think, oh, this is going to be over, and then an hour
Yeah,
later
just
you're
keep
still
going.
watching the final 2 ships trying to kill each other. Well, I'm onto my second beer, so probably a good thing that's not taking too long.
So
Okay,
I
I've also started a beer. I think it helps for commentary.
We only condone drinking for people who are over the age of 18. Thank you very much in this country at the very least.
with Venny in this position, going back to X-Wing, do you drop a proton bomb and 2 turn left this turn?
Proton bomb
Because-
backwards.
Yeah, because Han might be trying to just get out, right? So if Han is just banking and boosting away, the proton is going to cover that a little bit. Han
Yeah,
still
maybe.
has B shield.
I think for me, if I'm Han, I go full straightforward here. Because I think that bumps the reverse from Kova.
Yep.
And if Kova doesn't reverse, then you're in a beautiful position behind him.
Yeah.
So I think if you full straightforward Han, you're probably not taking any shots. And if you are, you're taking a sort of rear arc, range 3 shot from Venny.
And
Finn,
if Kova doesn't do that, you can always boost afterwards if you want
Yeah,
that curve
absolutely.
for the next turn.
And we assume that, I mean, Finn is probably K-turning, as horrible as it is this turn. It's going to take
Yeah, I mean,
through debris.
Finn's in a bad spot. Right?
Yeah.
Finn did a load of damage there and had to, because if he hadn't,
If Cobra stays where she is, she has a chance to block Han, and then Finn's K-turn is relatively safe.
Was the second strain on Finn worth it? Do you think?
I think yes, because he's not going to get meaningful fire for another couple of turns.
Yeah.
And also, he's not likely to take a lot of fire because Han's probably flying past him. So I think yes, because of that. But I don't love Finn's position. I think Finn and Cobra have ended up in slightly odd positions.
I'm not sure any of them are in great positions because Venny's kind of left alone.
Yeah.
So I really think that Cobra has to come down to support Venny.
Yeah. Wedge here. What do you? I think maybe just one straight forward with Wedge is the best option. I think you might bump if Venny stays still. If Venny flies over the top of you, you're going to take fire, whatever happens.
But Venny too hard blocks Januars, right? Probably.
Yeah.
So I think
say,
the too
but
hard
if
makes
you-
more sense to me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think they're too hard. But then I think if you one straight wedge, then I don't know. I can't see a better move. I don't think than a one straight for wedge.
Yeah, I think I agree
Well,
because it's
you
low
do-
risk, right? You're trying to trade wedge with any anyway.
Yeah.
You're probably
Yeah, if you get another
if you get
shot
shots,
into
you're
them.
probably doing it this turn.
Yeah.
I mean, the only other thing I could see is a 2-bank towards the top of the board. Because if Venny does stay still, you will just bump into him. If
Yeah,
Venny
and
does
then you
do the
get
too
the-
hard, you've got the option to potentially
but if the
boost
bomb
out.
is
To
there,
boost
2
out,
bank
and
isn't
then you
great.
can. Yeah.
Uh,
I
if
think
he
I
does
like.
drop a bomb.
I actually just like the one forward from Wedge.
I'm just not expecting him to drop a bomb.
I think the one straight forward's where it is, and I think Jan, you probably also one straight forward because again, if you trade with Venny, you're perfectly happy, and it clears her stress and it keeps Wedge in her arc. So even if she's not getting a shot, she's contributing something.
Yeah.
Finn I think Finn just has to K-turn,
Which is awful, right?
which is not
The
great.
alternative
It's
is
not
to be out of the fight for the rest of the game.
No
Yeah.
bomb comes.
It's
Or he could one bank into Han and then have the hard turn next turn. I don't love it. I think I prefer the K turn. And then Kova's got options, right? Kova could come down for Wedge or Jan. I think actually that's probably what I'd be inclined to do. The issue with that is Han. Too
Oh,
hard. Yeah,
so
I was wondering
that's-
that's too
That's a
hard.
blue turn with
Did it
Leia.
not?
Yeah.
Oh, blue
clears
turn with
one
Leia.
straight.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice.
so
And it didn't
removes one
clip
of those
the.
strain
That's
tokens.
good judgment from Cormac because I thought that would clip the debris.
I must admit, I thought that would clip as well.
Yeah.
It didn't. You went for the too hard with Venny.
See, I'm surprised there wasn't a bomb drop there.
Unfortunately, I was.
Well, I'm not
I
because
think
I'm
it's one
mainly.
of those, right? The threat of the bomb stops the maneuver, and so
Yeah.
then at that point you don't need to drop the bomb.
But I think yeah,
Hold on a second,
maybe.
guys. Just let the table talk a sec.
Just rotate my arc here. But I think Wedge could actually kill me here. Bugger.
So just to let you guys know, with Cormac talking about his position where what he was hoping to happen, he was expecting the one straight to bump into Wedge, Wedge to bump into Venny. But where he is landing up, he doesn't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, after the
No,
too hard. No. A one forward from Wedge is not going to bump Venny either.
And it's not only is it not going to bump, but I think it's going to keep him in arc as well. Or that is close. So I'm pretty sure that it gives Wedge arc.
And at that point, do you just go right? Wedge may
You
just
do,
die
right,
to a
5
return shot.
dice,
but
take
you just-
target lock.
Yeah,
and-
just take the target lock, 5 dice straight into him, and
Try,
if I
yeah.
die, I die.
Let hand finish off any later.
Yeah,
And you don't have the double tap because you turned away.
because
Kova's the key here, right?
Julian.
I'm enjoying. Yeah, I can
absolutely-
just about hear the sound of Julian enjoying how much anguish Cormac is in this game.
Yeah. I do
So
quite enjoy
here-
Julian's table manner when he's just like generally taking the piss out of things and just having fun with it.
Yes.
And it is got to be you have fun with it. It's not he's being mean or evil. It's just fun.
Yeah, and I don't love Kova's position because I think here the one bank from Han is good, and the 4 straight or the 3 straight, 4 straight are both good as well. I don't think Han is in any trouble here
Well,
whatsoever.
it's not gonna be a 4 straight because he's stressed, isn't he? So I expect.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. You are allowed to stay stressed.
You are, but I think it's less likely.
Anyone keeping a tally of massive condescension in the
Hey, everybody
the
talks
first
down to
check
me.
mark?
Oh, okay, so that's helped Fenny massively. I wonder if he's got foils, because he's still got foils
See,
closed.
Ooh,
He does have
He
one,
did
but
two
he has
forward.
to boost.
Okay.
He is boosted.
Yeah, so now it has to boost, right? But actually has a beautiful choice with boost, because now he gets bonus shots on whoever he likes. Then he's shooting no one.
Yeah.
So the only shot is a range 3 from Finn into Jan at this point. Don't love that move from Han.
I'm not even sure if Finn has range to Jan.
Yeah, the one forward there, I think
I
I'm not.
think Finn has range.
I'm not super happy with the one forward there from home.
No, I think it didn't cover. I mean, like we should say, and we all say it on our channel, right? This is very easy. Sat here, we're all having a beer. There's 5 of us, and we get to pretend that we knew what was going on in advance.
I have no clue.
I'm massively sure.
For me, the one straight didn't really cover any move from anything. You know, it's bad if Finn K turns. It's clearly bad now that Kova has Kova's reversed. I think the one bank gave you the options to kind of boost out of arc, and the quicker move, you know, you just take the bump and don't worry about it. And I think that was probably, you know, in hindsight, not the best choice from her.
No, I mean, Julian may have been expecting a 3 bank from Kova, which might be the reasons why.
Interesting to focus there rather than rotate.
Yeah, it seems like a very small amount of damage you're preventing.
Yeah.
The risk of giving up, I mean, potentially 4, right?
Maybe Julian thinks he's got range on Fenny, but I'm not convinced he does.
Because shooting into Finn, as already demonstrated, is pointless, right? Even a strain Finn is not going to take enough to make it probably meaningful. I suppose modding it is. Yeah. I don't love this.
No. Well,
helps. You spend there, right? Because there's no point having that focus for defence. But Finn may, Finn's. At least I suppose you take the shot while it's strained. It's not terrible.
Heroics.
Yep.
Is that mathematically better than adding the focus? I suppose you don't take the strain.
I mean, the chances are you avoid both. It's kind of a double or nothing sort of thing.
No, fair enough.
So the same
so
result.
end up the same result, but no strain. Yeah,
so it should create.
And the fact that Julian is just halved Finn now, I still don't think it makes it the right decision. Like, it's paid off for him, but I still don't like that decision.
Yeah, with a better roll, Finn takes 1 or no damage there, right? I think I agree. The better decision is to rotate arc forward and pile damage into Kova when she's taken this.
Yeah.
I think you're significantly getting the. I think
Did Wedge do damage to
His
Kova?
last, I think. Yes.
Yeah, we missed that shot, but Kova's taken.
There was a 3 die with Jan boosting it.
Yeah, lost 2 shields, I think.
2 shields, yeah.
Cool.
We did 4 damage, which had him roll. So he rolled very slightly above average on a 3. You rolled really well in the reds.
Good, this is a 186 tradition for the chat. We've got 3 turns in. It's the traditional time to decide that if you are losing, it's only because of the dice.
Yes. Yeah. It's the way it works, right? Just going back to your comments around Andrew Patterson being good at 1.0, he did rebuttal in the chat and said he did nothing to deserve this. And then Phil GC did chime up and said, Paul, that also you were good in 1.0.
Well, actually, everyone playing Miranda was good. But,
I was good at the end of 1.0 when it was difficult. Andrew was good in the sort of early to mid time of 1.0, where basically no one knew what they were doing. But he's a lovely man, so we let him roll with it.
So that's
That's Finn doing some work, so he takes the shields off Jan.
nice.
Yeah.
And at this point, if it wasn't for Finn, Cormac would be in a lot of trouble here. But Finn is trying his best to keep him in it.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Dolls.
I think
it's got to be
think
another bomb
Cormac's
drop
in
and a hard
trouble
turn
here,
for
isn't
Venny
he?
here.
Yeah, Cormac's in trouble here though because Venny needs those focuses really to kind of
do anything. And
to
Finn is coming to the
keep
same
her
space,
defensive ability and to keep her offense up.
Yeah.
Finn and Venny kind of want to be in the same space, as Lloyd said, and Venny looks like she's going to have to rotate her arc here and then be putting up with sort of two dice shots. Cove actually ending up stressed there to keep Finn from to save that strain on Finn, and that's going to limit her options this turn. So Cove has got to move forward. So the 3 bank left is guarding all day from Han here. I would have thought.
I mean, she could reverse again because she can make it white.
Of course she can.
Yeah. She could also. So just looking at weird options, she could let Venny stop again. Venny could rotate. Finn could then come into the spot because it's probably going to block Jan again and get another free shot into Jan. While Venny takes a pot shot into Wedge, who only has 2 health left.
Yeah. Should Finn
He
be
does
strained?
slightly throw Cobra away. He cleared 1 when he turned, and he cleared 1 when Han shot him.
Because didn't he add the eyeball when he shot Jan?
No, he added a blank and rerolled.
Oh, he added it.
No, you might be right. It's worth checking with the players. I didn't catch
Cormac
it.
added a blank and then turned it into a hit according to the results. So
advanced optics. He's got advanced optics. Yeah.
He spent 2 on his spin.
Yeah, so he rolled 2 crits naturally as the blank spends optics and therefore doesn't get the strain. Yeah.
Okay. So
Finn, obviously again, remembering that Wedge is the threat, Finn could just 2-turn.
Yeah.
Still have the opportunity to block Jan, so you're taking a fairly mediocre shot from her.
I wonder, because of that, if you 2-turn Wedge, it's not great even without a token, but Cover's hard to predict. I think it's hard to guarantee getting a shot on Cover here from Wedge. Yeah. I think if you are going from Cover, you go for a 1 bank to the left and accept that if you don't get Cover, then at least you're running away from the other things firing at Wedge. But I wonder, if it's me, I'd be inclined to 2 hard Wedge.
So he's 1-turning to make space.
Yeah, I don't love that.
Yeah, so he did go for the 2 hard, did drop the proton bomb. Which all
And
makes
he's
sense.
focusing. Yeah, he's focusing.
And then Finn is going to come around as well and give him the coverage. I quite like that, actually.
Yeah, but I think this is good.
I like it less now.
No, I mean, but I still, that's. I
It's
think you have to accept that that's going to happen, right? And I think of the one getting, if you're picking one to get actions, maybe Finn would have been the better one to get actions.
Yeah, I would accept
Given where the
2
arcs
or
are
so
pointing.
damage into Venny for Finn to have the chance to kill her.
Yes. And again, I don't love the Cover move. I think you need to try and go for the block on Han there. I think the Finn and Venny moves are beautiful if you block Han. And I just don't see Cover getting a meaningful shot from that position.
Oh, but he's using Cover to jam Han, I think.
It's a jam, okay. Yeah, I think he's got the coordinate, right? He's going to spend the force for a purple coordinate and maybe get Finn his actions anyway.
That is going to be close.
It's close on range, I think.
It's definitely going to be close.
You think okay?
Because the coordinate and getting Finn both of his focus tokens would be good.
Really importantly, obviously she coordinates. She's a bit stressed because she's already burnt her advantage charge. I found that out the hard way, but with Cova, you don't want to get the cycle basically because she ever gets stressed, as you just discovered, right?
Yeah, like it's one of those where sometimes it doesn't.
So just an intermission here while the players pontificate about whether Cova should have been stressed last turn or not.
And if you're wondering why second edition games go to time, it's because people like Cormac and I talk all the way through it.
Yes.
So, Wedge is looking like he might be in a tricky spot here. Luckily, from the Cova point of view, if he's gone straight or banked, he's going to get a kind of final shot. But I think the only way he stays alive this turn is if he's 1 bank to the left, barrel rolls out, and then crosses his finger that Finn doesn't hit him too hard. The jam on a hand. It's a weird choice.
He did go for that.
Presumably not confident there that he was going to get the range for the coordinate.
Okay, so
And
Jam's come round.
Why was the force spent there?
It was spent to make Venny's turn because he 1-turned blue. Oh, sorry, white.
Oh, yeah, because it was red, so it made it white, so he could...
Yeah, this is what we're saying, right? This is 4 of us watching this that have either run this list or some version of it or played against it a lot, right? And there are so many tricks and tools in it.
Yeah, there is an awful lot.
It's very easy to miss things.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not sure whether I like that because he does have pattern analyzer on Venny, so he could have just done it and taken the stress.
Yeah.
And I would have forced him to do a blue maneuver the next turn, but a blue maneuver isn't necessarily bad next turn. Yeah.
Well, though, to be fair to Cormac, so on the flip side, we all looking at it think he's in a slightly tricky position. He's got 3 arcs onto Janels here.
Yeah.
And 2 arcs on Wedge, so then he's going to get the double tap either if he needs it to kill Jan or if he needs it to kill Wedge, or or he can focus on Jan. So Cormac's managed to get a lot of arcs and out of this turn. The only downside is that he's only got mods with the 1 ship. I wonder whether. I think given that Hans jammed here, you just boost, right?
He's shooting a wedge anyway. You don't really want the stress.
Oh, damaged engine on Janors from the proton bomb, which puts her down to 2.
So I think Jan or Wedge are dead this turn, and if you're very lucky, both.
Do you just put Han and Jan both into Venny?
Yeah, if you can. Yeah.
Because
Venny's not going to take
Jan's
all that
got
much damage, though, is it? I think.
No, I mean Jan's got range 1 with block.
Yeah, Han on average does nothing. Right?
Oof.
To Venny.
Is that Han or Wedge into Kayla?
Oh, you didn't too.
So that was Wedge, I think.
Okay.
So now, if that was Wedge, fine. If that was Han, I think now you shoot Han into Kova, right?
That was Han, I'm pretty sure, because if
because
it's
he won't
Wedge,
agility.
Kova wouldn't have had an agility.
Yeah. Okay, well, in which case, the likelihood is
Because he's going to take the stress here and do the 5 die shot from Wedge to try and finish
Kova dies
Kova off.
before shooting, which is a huge swing. And that means you probably only lose 1 of Wedge and Jan.
So here's Wedge, 5 dice into Kova.
Yeah. Ooh.
Not great.
I will spend.
Focus chill.
Just guarantee it.
Yeah.
Because he's still expecting Wedge is going to die, right? Because Wedge is taking
Yeah.
3 attacks.
But I think what that has done is that saved Jan, because now.
Well, it saves Jan if Venny doesn't just kill Wedge with the first shot.
Yeah. So Jan's just hammered 4 into Venny.
Yep.
You add the eyeball, spend a focus, take 2. Still down to 3 health. It's
I
getting
think
area.
Cormac has taken too much damage this turn, and
there
Han
is
is
a lot of Han left yet.
Yeah.
There is.
I think COVID dies anyway there.
No.
I think still,
Hand rolling out of hand, maximum hits.
yeah. As Julian is saying here, I completely agree with him that
Less than 1. He's like 0.9 below average or 8 below average or something. But hand is like 2 above. Like, I don't think you should have lost COVID there. I'm happy.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Julian saying there that he doesn't think Kova in general should have died there
I suppose
in
if she
terms of
doesn't,
the averages.
Jan has the ability to take her off the table, right? Which
Yes.
also means that Venny now doesn't have N9GA modifying his attacks.
Yeah, which is again quite significant.
and that's true, right? I think, yeah, the 2 extra damage into Venny is nice, but actually not pivotal. And
I think so.
100%.
Oh yeah, you've got to try and roll actually. And going on G8 to help with the rerolls.
Safe.
Second attack from the turret.
Let's do.
Do you? I think maybe you shoot Jan at this point.
Yeah,
He's got.
I think so. And then you
It's like
probably
more
follow up
dice,
with
right?
Finn into Jan.
Yeah, I agree. If she's still alive.
Yeah, I think that's sensible actually.
Yeah, because that puts Jan down to 1.
I think
Yeah, it
Finn
does.
onto Jan, because Finn's only 2 dice. I think you have Finn into Jan here.
It's both very short. I think you get into Jan. I agree.
I mean, yeah, Venny is probably dead before he fires next turn, right?
Probably.
Well, it's going to take 1 less damage every every shot. If you kill Jan, you might be okay. Because Han is going to be single modded. He's not there anymore.
Range 2 shot on each one, right? Wedge and Jan.
Yep.
You have a better chance of getting damage on the wedge, but the damage
The-
Jan kills her, whereas damage on the wedge doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. And that is
So I think in sort of summary, for me, and
gonna go for Jan.
please sort of disagree with me if you do, guys. I think
2 plays 2.
the splitting up of the list from Cormac,
So-
Finn going in one direction, Fenny going another, and Kova kind of not making a decision, I think for me was the mistake of the game.
Yeah.
I think actually Cormac's done a really nice job in that last turn to try and salvage it, and has not got the dice he needed to for that to come off. But I think he kind of put himself in a tricky position.
Yeah,
I think out of the three of them, I think the thing that I disliked the most was Kova not making a decision. Right, you got Vinny going for wedge, fair enough. You got Finn going for hand because he couldn't really get back around to wedge, fair enough. But Kova not going for either, I think, is losing that shot on that round. I think is important.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, yeah, I think anytime you're splitting your list, you've got to look at what those individual fights are, right? So, Finn and Kova versus Han. Finn's going to hit hard. You're ultimately probably going to lose that exchange, right? Because eventually Han will get around and get past things.
Yeah.
And Venny versus Wedge and Jan is also not a matchup I like.
Mm-hmm.
So you're picking two individual fights, both of which I think Cormac is down in odds of each of those matches going in his favour.
And in actuality, he didn't pick Finn and Kova versus Han.
Well,
he
yeah.
picked Finn versus Han, So, but you're right. Had he turned Kova in also onto Wedge and Jan, then they're both sitting here. Jan is now on 1 health. Wedge is on 2. One of those ships would likely have been dead a turn earlier, which swings things massively. And then actually, if Finn's lost to Han but put 4 damage into him, you can cope with that if you've still got Venny and Kova left. But yeah, I think
Paul, Christoph, he disagrees with you on principle. Cormac.
okay, good.
Okay.
Is that reasonable? Reasonable.
Got my last proton down.
I mean, yeah, if you take the alternative view to us every single time, you'll be right more than 50% of the time, so it's fair.
So we can see in
I
the
think it's
proton
you
bomb
that brings
drop,
the average down, though, Lloyd. I think if people just disagree with me, they're in trouble.
I think you guys are just the same person, so it's fine. You can't disagree with yourself all the time.
So does Ollie.
I don't
Okay,
know
so
why I
Cormac.
have a messenger chat with each of you. I should just have a joint.
So Cormac's still trying here. Venny
I don't.
didn't.
I can see why.
Then he didn't have many options there. I think that was very close to fitting. We can see that. We can almost see the entire one bank template. Had it fit, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really nice job of blocking Jan.
Finn has 2, Jan has 1.
Yeah, I think Jan probably dies the proton bomb.
2 bank is stressful, right? Yeah, so trying to clear stress.
Yeah, I don't quite think
that might be out.
I don't think he
That's
clips.
going to be very close.
I don't
No, I think that might be out as well. That's unlucky.
Yeah,
But a nice plan certainly, and you can see that's what he was playing for.
Yeah, but bumping into Venny rather than bumping Finn, I think, might have just saved him.
Yeah. But right, very clear thinking from Cormac, right? So he's down in the game. We're all describing how he's lost. We're thinking about the next game already. What Cormac needs to do to get back in is to kill a ship before it fires, right? And if he does manage to clip Jan here, which he's given himself absolutely the best chance of doing, then all of a sudden we've got a presumably K-turning or running away Wedge, who doesn't necessarily put 3 damage into Venny. It's certainly not if Jan is dead. And then Venny could kill, So let's imagine that clips. Then Venny has a better chance of killing Han here than Wedge here than Wedge has of killing Venny.
And that 3 Talon may not have arc on Venny.
Okay, you're right.
It's going very close.
Jan is out, and I think that is going to make the difference. It's going to make all the difference there.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not sure Wedge has a shot on Venny. Jan can't shoot this
No, we
turn.
were on Finn though.
So yeah, now it's whether Finn survives this, right?
So
Yeah.
Julian very, very sensibly here is measuring range from wedge first, right? If you take the shot from hand,
Yeah.
you have no information. So
So
he knows he
Finn,
has to shoot Finn.
yeah, if Finn's range 3.
Jan has wedge in range.
Yeah, so
Yep.
it's going to be 4 versus 3, but no mods for wedge.
Oh, good roll, good roll.
That's going to be 2, isn't it? Because of course the
Okay, it's
wedge, the
going
wedge
through.
effect.
Whereas he's range 2, it's going to be 1.
No,
No, no.
he's just got to add it
Yeah,
Why is that 2?
yeah, and Finn is it.
because it's wedge.
No, it's range 2 to hand. Sorry, I'm misreading the. I'm misreading the
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So Finn's got
Because
away with
wedge.
that. Still got his focus.
Does take a strain.
And I don't think we saw a lot of Jan before Worlds, right? I think, Dom, you said you played against the Jan list at Worlds, but I don't think I'd seen Jan in 2.0 before Worlds. I
No,
haven't seen
I-
much of her since either, but she's consistently really, really good.
Okay, well that's good. That's
Jan
good.
spends it.
So if any needs to roll paint here, needs to roll the Vader below. And he does, he does.
Yes.
Unless this crit is a direct.
So it turns out it's critters.
Wounded, nice.
Wounded fighter.
Well, he's not a dead chip.
I might have shot Finn there, I think.
Well, he's expecting Finn to just dodge it and it could finish it.
Well, but, yeah, but Finn is the upside of killing Venny obviously is that wedge stays alive. But Finn is strange, so Finn's only rolling 1 dice from hand. And to dodge it entirely, he has to spend his focus, which reduces the incoming damage on hand. So I think a damage into Finn and less damage into hand is better in the game situation.
Wedge lives.
Oh,
So he's got a 1 health wedge, a 1 health Jan. There's a 1 health Venny.
And there's the
Things
Dom coming
burn.
somewhere this turn.
Well, he's only got side notes left.
no, heroic is fine.
Add a blank heroic, right?
Add a blank heroic.
Yeah.
I think I can't double down the strain, so I think I'm just.
I think you've got to, right? Add
Yeah.
blank heroic at all.
Well, as in I can, but I'm not sure it's a good idea for next time.
It's not going to change the result, is it?
Julian being Julian. Oh, and he spends
there you
it.
go.
Nice,
Spends
he's
the
trying.
focus.
Finn is trying.
I mean, Finn's almost doing all the work here.
Got to say, I think the shot into Finn was a better shot because I think if he shoots Finn, he's likely spent his focus,
And alive. That could have
and
been
he
becomes
does
much less
1
scary,
damage
right?
here rather than 3.
And that's
And I
half.
think even if Fenny's on 3, the likelihood is you kill him before he shoots next turn.
that was the
Yeah.
end.
So
Yeah, I mean,
it's
so
marginal. It's marginal. I don't think it will change the outcome of the game, but I think from hand the shot into Finn was better.
And yeah, I mean, I'm someone that doesn't really play Rebels very frequently. I'm very much more of an Imperial Ace style player. And yeah, with the Vagabond Open, you're having to play a list from each different faction. When I was looking at Rebels, certainly this time around, I started looking at Jan, and one of the reasons I did start looking at Jan is that's what knocked me out of Worlds in the top 16. Was a 4-ship Rebel list with Cassian Andor, Wedge, Jan, and a Z95. And Jan's really solid. But is she perhaps a little expensive, which is why people don't look at her? Because Jan with the Mouldy Crow title is 59 points.
Yeah, but the Mouldy Crow title is amazing, right? Because without she's
Oh, it's
expensive
fantastic.
certainly, but
yes.
a Hawk with the Mouldy, I think we're all a little bit guilty of still having that kind of Hawks was so bad in 1.0 that you can't kind of look at them without remembering that. And actually, a Hawk on its own in the end game, if it's got a Mouldy Crow title, is an incredible ship. So I think she's worth it. I think she's not just a support ship, right? She's a support ship that can also do a lot
Well,
of
that's it.
damage.
She's a support ship that's got a 3-dice gun that's essentially double modded when she rolls into attacks, right?
With a 180-degree arc as well. It's insane.
She's
No
very good.
bomb drops there from Cormac, obviously, because he would have killed himself.
Oh,
Yeah.
wounded.
Yeah, he's down to size max. And because he blew up all those locks to limit harm, Of course, the seismics now aren't there to do the damage.
Roll for something there, which I don't know what it was.
Wounded pilot.
Yeah.
To see whether he got the second stress.
Yeah, it was like I could have gone too hard and blocked, but then it was like.
But yeah, I mean, Wedge probably kills Venny here.
Well, that's worked out perfect.
Well, what you
not,
do
Han
is you
finish him
shoot Venny with hand, and then Wedge has the shot onto Finn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that Ham's bumped there.
3 plays to
Shoots first, obviously.
1
be
hit.
afraid. Very afraid.
That's the kill.
Kills Venny.
Jeez. Which means Wedge can finish off Finn.
He could have spent from Finn, could he not?
Back it off.
No, it
No,
has
it's
to. It
mobile
has to
arc, sorry.
specifically be a mobile arc.
Yeah.
So yeah, so resistance favoring, yes.
Julian forgetting
Finn's
Wedge there.
happy
Yes, game. Right, he only has 2 qualities on 1 hit.
Oh. Even without the mods gets it.
That's right. Finn can do this, right?
No.
So Finn does a K-turn here.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely getting tougher.
I've seen Zebraelis in attack shot kill 3 defenders. I know it was 1.0, but still, it can happen.
Well,
Yeah. I remember that game.
I saw a half health 006 kill an entire list on your stream last week, Nick. That was an incredible match.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
I think
expecting
if Cormac
Finn
is
to
playing
do
on
the
here, he
K-turn.
deserves some credit for giving you guys watching the stream and us commentating on it entertainment, because I think I may have conceded at this point.
I mean, 5 minutes plus 2, Finn's definitely got this.
I mean, the hilarious thing is, Finn has to survive 4 shots, right? But he could win this game in 4 shots. He's not going to, but he could.
Yeah.
I think the issue is that he has to K-turn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, no, that's not at all.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
2 hard Finn, hand flies over the top. You put 5 damage into hand with some lucky crits. And
do you
then
not just
don't
K-turn
relax,
Finn
it's
here?
fine.
Because he's got pattern
Well, if
analyzer.
you K-turn him, he dies.
Oh, he's
he
got
has
pattern
optics.
analyzer.
He's got pattern
Jesus,
analyzer,
God,
so
he's-
he can.
No, I don't think he does have pattern analyzer. Does he?
No, he doesn't.
I
He has
think-
optics because he used optics earlier.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure.
So I think the 2 hard is probably better.
Shot.
Or as in put hand in front of
Oh, right. Yeah.
like
Yes, yeah, the 2 hard's definitely better. I don't know why I thought he had pattern analyzer for a second there. I just assumed with this expensive Finn it had everything under the sun.
Rotate now behind me. Oh, M in it.
So for people watching, obviously we're going to bring a bit of kind of boring Veteran Instincts chat to this. Like the takeaways from this game, I think the key moments were, first of all, from Julian, right? It's early in the game, it doesn't necessarily seem important, but the K-turn with Han early on was huge.
Yeah.
If he had not done that, then this game goes entirely differently.
We have 4 minutes.
All of Julian's list is in the same part of the board. Cormac does not have to make that decision of splitting his list. And that
Yeah.
1 K-turn is the very next turn led to Cormac making what we think, in hindsight, with perfect knowledge, is a mistake of splitting his list up. So that
Yeah.
it's easy to miss these things, but if you're moving second, if you've got the AC list,
Ooh.
you need to make your
Okay,
opponent
well,
make choices. And that K-turn is the key to this game, I think, the one most important moment. And then following on from that, Cormac splitting the list rather than committing one way is in hindsight a mistake, but it's a mistake he made because of the K-turn from Julian.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels very much like Julian, assuming that it carries on this way, Julian has won the game rather than Cormac has lost it, right?
I'm just confused as to why he didn't bother shooting Jan there, though. By the Wedge.
Who?
Yeah.
Oh, well, this is where the 186 gaminess comes in, and Cormac, we still want him in the competition, so we're going to let him escape with some MOV.
Yeah, it's now
Where that shot wasn't going to do anything to Finn.
yeah, the game is now not to kill Finn. It's just to win with the most points left on the table. Right? And evening Gavin Kirby, who has joined the stream.
He has sent us some tokens,
What do you do when you've got a phone nearby and a bit of time to kill? Audible lets you experience
I mean, there is a
Oh.
like pandemic going on at the moment.
Obvious move was obvious. And we'll focus.
Man, Finn is worth the points, isn't he? Like, I'm not even sure he dies now. He's got to, though, right? It's 5 dice from Wedge.
You'd expect so, right? 5 dice, double modded.
Okay, for taking 1. That's so stupid.
Yeah, he dies.
Guaranteed to take
Yeah,
it.
Ben.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, and he dies.
Good game, boys.
Yeah. So he's
So
got.
what we haven't explained to people is we are to keep the 106 fresh. We have a regular rotation policy in terms of our members, and the player who performs worst tonight is out of the 186. We're going to take their t-shirt off them and burn it. And at the moment, Cormac is in pole position for that.
I think it's worth saying that he flew pretty well, like not spectacularly, but not terribly. So he's not yet sent to Eagle Squadron.
Oh yeah, no, Phil and Dale are more than capable of doing worse.
Yeah, that is fair.
It's like, oh, I can go over here now.
But the only thing was that you didn't really even need to move around Venny, because like that first shot you got the 9 damage into her, or you got
If you guys want to join the Discord, that might be an idea.
7 into her.
Yeah, 7 damage, which is like the dream opening salvo. Like, first engagement, Venny's on half. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I guess I'd actually have to work to lose the game now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is you didn't even. So getting rid of the rocks wasn't necessarily bad, because it didn't actually make a difference, because the rocks that you came through it was irrelevant actually for those ones.
Yeah, I mean, I had my approach was set in such a way that if you didn't get rid of rocks, it was fine, and I was also trying to dodge explosion range of the rocks.
Yeah, I think the main mistake what I should have done is I think I should have say when Han did that damage with Finn, I should have not even gone for Han, just said, okay, right, listen, he's behind me, but if he's coming behind me, he's going away from that rock, he's not going to be as strong. So I think I should have probably just said, okay, right, Han is up here, fine, I don't care, I'm just going to come over here to these guys.
Yeah,
now,
like that. I mean, Han feels like too many points to be using as bait, but then also he kind of isn't, because he could, I could afford to take that turn of tanking from him.
Yeah.
For that position.
And I think as well, probably looking back at it, like I suppose I wasn't expecting Venny to take that much damage. I'm kind of like going, okay, well, I'm going to come in here, get a good shot on Wedge. I'm not going to take that much damage, but actually then taking what to say 7 damage, like that's.
Yeah, I mean, like Wedge with a crack shot arc means whatever Wedge rolls you're taking.
Yeah.
And then Jan with a crack shot active as well. You only need to see 1 blank on your greens, and well, yeah, happy days.
Cool.
Well, thank you for the game, Cormac.
No, thank you for it. I can go back
to.
We
were just listening because you were explaining to the stream the game, so we just thought you'd let you do that.
Oh right, yeah. No, it was interesting. Like with Venny, the approach, it's just the approach is everything. Like, if you cannot actually make a trade with Venny that's worthwhile, you don't trade because you just die.
Yeah.
I think last year, Nick.
Dom played most of it, to be honest.
No, but I think you schooled me with a Venny list in Brighton, if I remember rightly.
I did play.
Yes.
Yes. I did.
Double fangs do not like seeing Venny.
No.
There's a lot of things that don't like seeing Venny, but if you've got a list, that can just punch and kill Venny quick, and having the increased damage output with Jan and Wedge, they can do that quite quick. You just to remove Venny, or at least reduce his effectiveness quite quickly, it puts the Venny player on back foot.
Yeah, no, I mean, I really misengaged as well. Like going back to the Fang game, like because Terok is good into Venny if you can deliver him safely.
Yeah, because I played Finlayson that same weekend, and he got it right, and I didn't.
Yeah.
Venny just had nothing and melted.
So in this game, guys, we thought the kind of key was a nice K-turn from Han early on, and then
Yeah, I
I
mean,
splitting the list from Cormac, and particularly Cova not kind of deciding on supporting either ship or turning her up in the same room.
I think that's a really valid point. Kova didn't do a lot of anything in helping either ship. She was a turn kind of out of sync with either supporting Finn or Venny, and I really managed to crack into that space, like hand rolling right up and being just out of her arc. Like she only got to shoot twice.
Yeah, certainly. It felt like if she committed either way, that either you'd have had a lower health hand towards the end of the board. But actually, if she turned down towards Wedge, obviously with hindsight, then Wedge may have been dead. 2 or 3 turns earlier, and that could have been pivotal.
Yeah, I feel like the kind of my gut reaction straight after the match is what I'm thinking is that Finn and Kova shouldn't have gone all in on Han, or else I'd say everyone should have gone all in on Han. But I feel like I should have just turned in everybody towards Wedge and or towards Wedge and Jan and just said, okay, fine, Han, do what you do.
Yeah, I think you need. We could see why Finn got into a slightly awkward position. Right? We could see why you sent him towards Han, and we could see the turn down against Wedge. And if you're a bit luckier, Wedge dies and you don't take quite so much damage. But I agree with Julian as he was explaining. The crack shots make the difference in terms of your expected damage there. But had Kova turned, banked either way and gone with either of them, you're definitely in a better position. Having said that, we don't want to be too critical. You did really well to try and keep yourself in after that. The turn where you one-hearted Benny, two-hearted Finn, and got all of your arcs in a really nice position was a really nice kind of attempt. And had you kind of clipped with the proton bomb the turn after and got rid of Jan, we might be looking at a different game.
I was bricking on that turn with his Finn placement. So I thought I was just going to catch the trailing corner of Finn and get wrecked.
It was
But
really
okay.
close.
But it was okay.
And at that point you're unlikely to kill Venny, and Venny is likely to kill Wedge.
I was still fine to kill Benny.
Yeah.
No problem.
Well,
Like one health Benny and 2 health Finn versus 5 health Han. I still win that.
Oh yeah, no. I think in terms of, I think you're okay, game wise, but it makes it a lot closer because I think.
Oh sure.
Had Jan died to the bomb there, that you could have lost Wedge that turn, and then had 5 health Han, but versus 2 ships. I still think you win, but it's a lot closer.
And Han has to be more aggressive then as well. So Venny, my ships can just stay back and say, right, I've focused up today.
Yeah.
So we've explained to the stream that Cormac, your neck is currently on the chopping block in terms of being kicked out of the 106.
That's unfortunate.
But we're fully expecting Phil or Dale to do a much
it's going to be
worse
me.
job than you.
It's going to be me. Phil! I am claiming that today.
We'll see what happens, won't we?
Really cool TV series. Get excited by it.
Right, gents. I'm gonna dip out. I will rejoin a little bit later on.
Julian, thank you so much, mate.
Cool.
Yeah, cheers for coming and join us.
Yeah,
Pleasure. Thank you for the stream, gents, and most importantly, Cormac, thank you.
Cool, thank you.
Very enjoyable.
I'm going to go and paint some fences.
Oh,
Okay.
all right.
I'll probably pop back in later on.
Yeah, cool. All right, speak soon.
Cool. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. Right, so yep. So next up we have Mitch Chivers and Phil GC.
That's if Mitch technical issues solved.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Having some IT issues. More
excuses.
for people having.
He's scared.
Well, and now knowing what both of their lists are, this could be quite an interesting game, I think.
I only know what my list is.
Yeah.
But that's too many ships.
Well, I won't try and spoil the surprise then. But again, you have gone for a higher than your usual ship count for round 2 of the Vagabond.
I have gone for like whole shit.
Oh, he's going with this list. Okay, I know what Chivers is playing now. I mean, the stream knows what Chivers is flying now, so that's fine.
Yeah, I know what Chivers is flying.
I know you know what Chip is like. Don't.
Is Mr. Chivers having trouble with his internet as a whole?
Is he on Virgin Media?
No, they're doing okay at the minute. I had
He's
to
on
shout at them
something.
a lot.
Your Virgin Media has been atrocious the last couple of weeks.
I've had to shout at them. It's
Oh.
lucky we have the stream at all.
Now. Walls on. But anyway, we're not here to talk about other companies and their money.
No. They do a good job most of the time, to be fair, as I'm sure all internet providers do.
Yeah.
But
Lloyd seems to have lost all audio.
that's because he's only... Well, he's muted in the Discord and doesn't appear to be in a Facebook call currently. Lloyd, are you there? You are there in that call? Okay, so you just lost the Discord.
Yeah, it for some reason just wasn't generating anything.
My vassals just crashed on me.
Okay. GC's vassals just crashed.
And suddenly I had nothing.
Oh.
We're coming back
So I'll be back in a moment as well.
Yes, we will be.
We might well have gotten and loaded his list, and I can see what's going to beat me this evening.
So apologies for the technical issues we seem to be having to the stream. We are getting things sorted out as soon as possible, obviously.
Back in.
So presumably Discord just crashed.
But there may be a Discord issue. I'm still connected to Discord, I think.
I'm still on Discord.
Yeah.
I think my vassal has just decided that it wanted to kick me out.
Facebook Messenger does have a tendency to cut out after 4 hours.
I'm sorry, we'll just restart the call.
The two options.
It's really not a timely that I thought I'd ever
We are just talking to the world. They are there.
Hello, 17 people in the world.
Hello.
18.
Oh, that sounds like a Martin Chivers. He has made it to Discord. It's a good start.
Close.
And my vassal is I think I just quit it.
If you join back in, it should join back into where you were.
Yeah, it should be.
I think I can say
No, I had an internal error in vassal that kicked me out.
the person I played earlier on
It wasn't my fault. I feel better about my life.
and went down to the final turn.
Did you win?
I mean,
My
it
vassal's
might
just
be the
kicked me.
future, so we should
It just kicked you out.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because we've got like what 1, 2, 3, 7 people. In here. that could be a thing.
It was a very good game to watch.
It was really fun. It was really fun to play.
But I've at least made it to Discord, which I couldn't do earlier, so...
I think it's kicked. Nick, have you still got the map and stuff? Because mine's disappeared.
I've still got a map.
But it's really, really nice to know that someone's watching, so we really appreciate it.
I mean, if that's much of an issue... Hold on.
I also know that Julian is not doing a very good job of rating them because we have
I am joining the server now. Do I have to join as player 3?
Well, maybe if you are going to get Michael O'Connor on,
I'm so confused.
maybe try and see if he can.
There's no change there then.
My room has just disappeared. Like I can't.
All of our
do
guests so
anything.
far have been very.
Is it easier just to create a new...
Yeah, just start a new game.
Let's go start a new game.
International orientated to try and widen the net.
But yeah, Michael is the.
Who's in the Firecast room still?
national champion.
Oh,
Which-
Paul, just...
Going for Mitch versus Phil 2.
Yeah, just
It'll
do
get
that one.
really confusing because it's going to have brackets 2, brackets 2.
Yeah,
that was
that's
very
fine.
good to know.
I'm in that one.
Round one.
There's Mitch versus Phil and there's Mitch versus Phil 2. Which one am I...
2.
Mitch versus Phil 2.
Okay.
Wonderful benefit of losing my first round, I managed to play someone who won their first round, who also happens to be the Australian national champion. Like this, I did message Steve.
Which chat should I be in, the Discord or the Facebook one?
Discord.
You're always worried about this stuff. You always find a way.
I've
Who
done
you
that.
got who you paired into, paired off into, or paired down into. Just why do I have to pair this
No,
person?
it's
fine.
not.
Tom, you're
not alone.
clearly anti-Lloyd. Lloyd generally
Listening.
gets paired into someone who's 8 and at their first tournament.
Yes, I think we got it.
Through the remainder of the day.
Yeah, it's already up in the overlay.
It's like,
It's all good.
Yeah, every
the
time
UK
I've done
system
well,
open.
I've always had easy matchups. Is what we're saying, right?
I was about to bring up the open though. You played what was it, Simran round 1?
Yeah, the UK system open. Of course, my good friend Simran was my first round opponent.
Which was fine, right? Because you were in Milton Keynes, so it's not far enough north for Simran to be any good.
Yeah, it's coming.
Well,
Somebody spawned
We're
a
here
squad
like
anyway.
4 more hours, people. 4 more hours.
It was a very good game.
It was
But
such a
I
good
did.
joke until Sim won the Basing State Regional.
Yes.
Yes, true.
But no,
What player are you, Martin?
no, it's
You're
good.
player 1.
Okay.
Player 1.
Cool.
There it is.
Yeah. Synchronize
Good
to
space, don't know what
Martin.
he's doing.
Yeah, I think Phil's system, Phil's vessel crashed, right? But Martin's not.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I'm getting conversations into yours.
It looks like,
They're just kind of
Rick's
sorting that out,
actually
guys.
was a mess of nonsense.
Yeah, so I mean, what we can do whilst we're waiting for them all is just go through their lists a little and see what people think. So Phil GC has come with a very un-Phil GC like Galactic Republic list, and he's running Ahsoka Tano with Patterson, Battle Meditation,
I think of Patterson on the brain, John.
R4P17 droid, calibrated laser targeting. He's then got a
Close
Jedi
it and
Knight
restart
with
restart it, Phil.
calibrated laser targeting. And what droid is that?
R4P44. So,
Yeah, R4P44, so that is after you fully execute a maneuver, if there's an enemy ship in your bullseye, you gain a calculate token.
It's
And
like he's gone through his card folder and been like, what's this card? I've never seen this card before.
It is a little bit like that.
Just a
And,
little.
and he's got calibrate laser targeting on that as well. And then he's rounded the list out with 2 Red Squadron bombers, which are the I2 Y-Wings, both with ion cannon turrets.
I will
7th
add you to
Fleet
the
gunner,
Facebook
and
call,
R4
Jim.
astronauts.
Hold on.
Also, a very unfilled GC, 198 points.
So I think both players agreed that they were going to go with sort of theme lists in this one, which is why you can see.
Oh, you should be in the
Phil's
Facebook. Oh, he's gone
got,
already.
Ahsoka and Red Squadron.
Yeah.
But
I mean, he's already added. He all he needs to do is
because
join it.
they add an extra red die for you.
Yeah. And
so
if
all
you
of a
get...
sudden your CLTs at range 1 can be incredibly hard hitting.
Yeah, I feel like that's almost a
Go
forgotten upgrade,
press
right?
start.
When
Control of
this
delete.
actually first came out, a few
Yeah.
people were running
End of the Java application.
CLT lists with those, and I haven't seen them since. But you're right, because of
Java,
the
yeah.
timing, you can roll your 3 dice at range 1, add your 7th Fleet gunner, and then add your focus.
Yeah. So you end up with those pseudo 5 dice attacks from your little 2 dice ships.
Yeah, from potentially a 39-point Jedi. Although, Cormac, Phil's got sense and a bad astromech on it.
Yeah.
Talking
And then-
about astromechs, I'm hoping that Martin's list will be here shortly because we were talking about that earlier.
Well, yes, Martin's list is up, so sorry, let me get into it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Martin has also gone with Galactic Republic. And his theme is obviously around the defense of Naboo. And he's got Ripley with Daredevil, Fire Control System, and what on earth is that?
R4P astromech.
R4P Astromech, okay. Whatever that does, who knows?
It is, you can spend a charge to make a basic maneuver easier. So Rick can clear stress on any non-turnaround tools on his dial.
Roger.
There we go.
I think we have a Julian.
So you've
We
got,
do.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
And then he's also gone
got
for
Rick, Dene, and
just
2
more
generics.
Naboo Starfighters. He's got a total of 4.